Look at this. Where's Wilf? Where is he?
Anton.
Oh,
Right.
awful. Terrible. Absolutely terrible. I've seen the email. Right, let's get in.
Yeah, and you're the only one that I didn't have their number to let them know that I'd sent it to them as well. And you're the first one.
That says it all, doesn't it? About them lot.
Bastard.
What are you doing? Did you answer me, Harriet?
You with Harriet?
We were talking online.
What, online?
Yeah.
Fucking hell.
Imagine if I was just sat next to you. Be like, well.
Wait.
That's what I thought. I was like, this isn't quarantining, Grandad.
Yeah.
Alright, give me 2 minutes.
All right, see you in a minute.
Yeah.
You there, Google?
Hello.
Yes, yes.
Hey. You all right, brother?
Yeah, man, I'm nice, man. I'm nice.
What are you drinking?
See, Harriet got me on the right one. She told me.
There's a drink there.
The beards are mad at the moment.
Yeah.
I quite like it though. I think beards are a vibe.
Harriet knows. Harriet knows about the beard.
That, drink to that, you know what I mean?
Here he is.
There he
Here he is.
You're right, Wilf.
What, love?
Is it true that you're actually a Scouser?
Yes.
Oh.
Ask him that question. Harriet, ask him if he's a Scouser.
Wilf, my name for Wilf is Scouser.
That's right, Essex.
And he calls me Essex because I fucking hate Essex. I don't hate Essex. I'm not going to say that.
Well, actually, Corky, what are you scoffing there? Damn.
I will do the whole bag as well. I did a whole bag yesterday. I'm going to do a whole bag today.
What's wrong with that?
Wilf, you obviously DJ. Mark, you DJ. Tonn, you DJ too, actually, don't you?
He does?
I can DJ, yes. I've not DJed in a few years, but I will come out of retirement sooner or later.
Yeah, watch his face.
What have I been doing? Do you want the truth?
Yeah, definitely.
Cancelling shows
Cancelling shows. Oh my God.
Oh, ouch. That must have hurt.
or postponing, yeah.
Yeah, all I've been doing is literally in the studio, back making the beats. Like I've had many ideas for years, production-wise. So I've been getting stuck into that, writing lyrics and literally turning into some sort of master chef, if you can call it that. I'm trying to keep the mind occupied by doing different things, i.e. cooking, baking, whatever, studio, out on the bike, bit of exercise. But just to try and keep the mind occupied day to day.
But it's been great. I mean, because I'm a teacher as well. I've had Zoom classes. So some of my classes, it's been great. That's been great. I've been making some tunes with Simon, Exile. Me and Simon made about 3 or 4 tunes. Set my decks up down here, finally. It took about 2 weeks to get my decks all set up down here in the front room. And that's it. A couple of live streams, making sure the sound sounds all right. You've not noticed, every time you come on after Wilf, you have to turn the monitor back down again.
I mean,
I thought I just turned the tune up too loud.
Oh, headphones on monitor have to be turned back down again.
I'm so like that. I have it whacked up to 4 and then afterwards basically have like vertigo on the way home.
Yeah, he's out of his ears. That's what I'm like with him.
When you have one and it's really loud, huh?
You wear earplugs, don't you?
I have multiple pairs of earplugs that I put in for 3 minutes and then take out.
I'm really glad you said that.
Yeah, I know that
I was
one.
wearing them for a few years.
Yeah.
And then all I did was turn it 5 times louder. And then at one show, I'd ordered so much monitor stuff because it was my own show. The guy went, the sound system for the monitor is louder than the club now, Wilf. And I was like,
Do you wear them, Tonn?
No.
I didn't do anything.
Listen, on a level, I literally have you guys, when it's in the mix, when you guys are in the mix, I have you low in the mix because you guys have it that loud in the booth.
Yeah.
I just go off that sound.
So do you pick up the sound from where you are more from the booth monitor than from the sound system in the club?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, it does depend where you are because some clubs, there is a bit of a delay.
Yeah, that's what I was going to say. It must be a bit jarring sometimes, being in the in-between section.
It depends what kind of event it is because some events, obviously, could be broadcast live and I'll be getting a delay. So if I'm stood in the wrong place, and let's just say I spit a bar and I'm spitting it to what I'm hearing, it's going to come out delayed on the recording.
Yeah.
So you've got to be careful where you position yourself.
If we're going to talk about old school stuff, a guy called Impact took me to my first time I played a pirate radio station in the 90s.
Buzz FM.
Called Buzz FM. And basically the monitor was a radio alarm clock that as you played, it transmitted out of the mast and was picked up by the radio, and that's what you listened to mix to. So it was like about 2 or 3 seconds out. You're hearing the music 3 seconds later than what's playing in front of you. Yeah. And then if you had dub plates, you'd put them on the belt drive, and then the deck wouldn't really go around.
Wait, when was this then? What year was this, do you reckon?
97?
No, earlier than that. That's got to be 95, 96.
Yeah, I'd say 95 to 97. Let's go a little later. I'm going to go 96, 98. But
what, and this was in Manchester, yeah?
Yeah.
In
so, huh?
In what side? In Hugh.
I assume it doesn't exist anymore then?
No.
Well, I'm talking about when it was in the high-rise, Mark. So it was in North Manchester then, I think.
Oh.
In the Seven Sisters.
Yeah.
I've been in the Sisters because for a while it was in someone's back garden, wasn't it? In a shed.
In a shed, yeah.
Yeah, it really was in someone's shed.
Love it.
Well, it was a bit moody, actually.
Tell me.
A bit moody.
Wait, what was it like in there?
That was standard.
There was just like odd shootings and loads of crime going on, and you were there sat in a little shed trying to play records.
That's all good, man. I was on Frontline FM anyway. So.
Yeah. Well, and then we had Fresh FM, didn't we? Radio Ray's thing, and I used to do Saturday afternoons 1 till 3, and the house is still there, and the thing got raided, and I had to throw the record box out of the window and jump out of the window. But the same thing happened to me. There used to be a Cool FM in Birmingham, which was on Big Buff High Street, opposite the bus station, near where Air and the Sanctuary is and all that stuff. And Justin used to run it. Hazard got me onto it. And I had to jump out of the window there as well when it got raided onto the high street. And I used to have this big daft red record box, which I still
still got it.
Still got it. And it was really heavy. And if anyone had seen it...
Harriet, some things have not changed. That's exactly what it used to be like, I tell you.
Yeah.
I picture these scenarios. Like, my only recollection of this is through watching people just do nothing.
So if you've been to Birmingham, they've got the Bull Ring, you know, the big shopping centre.
Yeah.
When you look up Big Buff High Street, you can see all like the little silver grill things. I was jumping out of the window above the Sanctuary nightclub. It was the Sanctuary, I think. Or was it the Institute? One of them anyway. Someone for
it was the Institute.
Yeah. That day. Institute, yeah.
So did you all know each other then?
Yeah.
Grandad's like, well, I call him Grandad, but
Granddad.
Yeah, well,
that's Mark's nickname.
He is, but we've called him that. I've called him that for 20 years. But Mark and Sapo, I would say, mentored me. If it wasn't for them, there's no me. Do you know what I mean?
In jail now.
There's no question of that.
I didn't really know that was kind of how you have developed your relationship, because Mark, you've actually taught quite a lot of people.
Yeah, Wilf was like my first one.
Adawan, yes.
Oh, you're the OG.
Yeah, Wilf was like the first one out of all of the little, students, etc., whatever you want to call them. Wilf was like the first one that I took under my little wing. And said,
was he a rascal?
Beyond belief. Harriet, you have no idea.
Some stories can't be told on here.
We'll see about that. Just keep drinking.
I'm not going to delve, but I'm just saying he was a bad one.
Yeah.
Not now.
No.
Completely changed.
So you reckon your life without going to doing that, essentially discovering music and everything, would be very different right now?
Well, I used to go to, so there used to be a shop that Mark worked at, called Spinning, which was in Manchester. Used to have an underground market near where the Arndale is, if anyone knows where that is. And I used to go in there. That would probably be about 91, I reckon.
Yeah. Well, 92, 93.
Maybe a bit late. My years are all a bit out. Mark was
there. It's actually where the new Tesco's is, isn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah, but you went down the steps, didn't you?
The market.
And into the underground market, and so you bought tape packs in there, and there was tunes and all that. So you'd go in there, and what people forget is as well. There was
that's the shop me and Marcus had, Harriet.
Huh?
That's the shop me and Marcus had.
What was it called? Spin-In?
Spin in.
Spin. Okay, and so
SPIN.
I could go to the car now and get one of the old school red bags out because I found one at my dad's house the other day.
Do it.
Wicked.
You want me to?
Yeah, I want to see.
And then this all. Back in a second.
Yeah, so I had the shop. Me and Marcus had the shop called Spinning. Then we moved to Eastern Block. And
so your first shop, was it like brick and mortar shop, or was it? So you said it was like a market.
It was a shop that everybody came for R&B, hip hop, jungle back then, jungle and house music. They all come to that shop then. And then we moved to Eastern Block, and that's when Tonn, Wilf, people like that used to come at Dean, all used to come buy records there.
So just for like everyone listening, when you say Marcus, you're referring to Marcus Intellectual. Yeah, okay. So that's amazing. So you had that shop together. What year did you first open that?
God, I wasn't the owner. A guy called Gary was the owner, and I managed it from 92 to about 96. And then employed Marcus about 92, 93. And
is that how you guys met?
Yeah.
Wow, okay.
Well, not just how we met. We used to DJ together at places, a club called Angels in Burnley. Just DJ and playing like breakbeat hardcore with people like Carl Cox and Slipmat.
So it wasn't just drum and bass that you were like, what? So what other were the main genres?
Obviously, house music was original, and then obviously the jungle tunes came around from about 1993.
Even before that, Mark was doing DMC hip hop stuff before that.
Yeah.
Amazing.
Yeah.
Here we go. So this is, so after the bomb, it moved to a place called Brown Street, was right where it was.
Wow.
Check that out.
Oh my God. How's it so fresh? Jesus.
It's not. Well, look.
Hasn't disintegrated yet.
Look at some of these old flyers there.
Oh my God, show us. When was that?
Prophecy. I don't know, that's Rich Reason. Big up Rich Reason. There's one.
You're in the old flyers there,
man. Tom Piper, an old, it's 05.
Wow.
The, Phoenix.
What year was that?
2005, Planet V All Nighter.
What, 15 years ago?
Yeah.
That's wild.
Oh, God, don't you sent me under.
Wait, so that I bet that bag feels well nostalgic to look at.
There's loads of old red issues, Tonn. I'm telling you, I'm going to go through these.
God's sake. I don't want to see them.
Do you keep your kind of accreditations and stuff for shows still?
Yeah. Always.
Yeah, always. I do.
I've done for years, Harriet. I've done for years. I've got so many issues. It's great. Love them.
I think like it does become a bit of a blur, especially when you get to a certain point, probably that I haven't actually reached yet, but like even now I can't distinguish stuff one from the other. So it is nice to have that, isn't it?
Yeah, I have a few boxes. Yeah.
A lot of people don't do flyers anymore. You know what I mean? A lot of flyers.
No, it's more like you have like I normally keep like the wristband or like the lanyard.
Wristbands and lanyards. I always keep the wristbands and lanyards. But I'm saying even the flyers, like Wilf was showing then, half the time there is no flyers anymore.
No, yeah, definitely not. Don't waste money on flyers.
What I mean?
Nothing print really.
I do occasionally just print them just to feel nostalgic, but I work with we do Worried About Henry with a young lad called Christy. He's not so young now, he's old, he's 26. I still think of him as young.
I used to think of you as young.
Yeah. Do you know what he said a year or two ago? Granddad.
You guys look the same age though. What's that about?
Exactly. That's why it's so funny. It's hilarious because look at him now. Oh, where's that picture of you, 17? Hold on. Let me show you this picture. Harriet, here we go. I'll find this picture of him when he was a kid. Right, this is hilarious.
Oh, no, man.
I hate it when I feel like Will's about to tell me off. I'm like.
Yeah, I'm going to call you manager after this.
See, you can't tell me off, Harriet. You can't do it. Yeah, you can't tell off the old man.
Okay.
We're all old now. Getting old now.
Yeah, I remember you when you were 17 as well, so don't you start.
So you were obviously all ravers before you did anything, professionally. Did you start off as an MC, Tonn? Because I know you obviously can mix and produce as well.
Always been an MC. Start off with that was.
He was an MC, 15-year-old MC that came in the club and said, "Let me have a go on the mic. Let me have a go on the mic." So I said,
he said that. Tonn said that.
Let him have a go. Let him have a go, and then that was it. from that point on, and that was 25 years ago.
Wow, don't even say that. We get those numbers
We
there.
used to go in the shop, we used to buy records, we used to attempt mixing.
But Will, we used to go to the shop, then we used to go and test the records out that we just bought in Isobar.
Yeah.
We used to go and practice in Isobar.
Isobar.
Yeah.
Okay.
Which is now the Black Dog Ballroom, below Affleck's Palace.
Me and Wilf ended up doing a night where it was like a student night. Was it a Monday or Thursday? Was it 10p a pint or something?
10p a pint?
Yep.
10p a pint for lager and lime or whatever it was.
What the fuck?
I can't really.
That was 96.
I mainly remember you.
That was 95.
Unless you show my age. From I remember you and Matty really well from the early conducts, but I do it from Isobar as well. But Isobar's a bit blurry because someone said to me we used to do every Saturday there, and I'm like, I only remember one Saturday, which funnily because you used to have a thing called Promo Wars, Harriet. Mark, oh no, I thought Mark was frozen then. I was just
no. I'm just finding this picture.
Like, oh God, Grandad's gone in front of us. So basically, you have things called test presses or very limited promo runs.
Yeah.
And I had Warhead and I had Shy FX Bambata, and I also had the EP of Bacteria, which people. Oh, did you show the picture then? Go on, show us which one it is. Which one is it? Oh yeah. No, I'm a bit. See, I think I'm about 20 there. I think
that one is.
You look like a young lad.
98, 99. That.
Yeah, 98. That's when we used to drink champagne and smoke weed. Yeah. giving up the full raving stuff by then. And so you'd go in there and then be like, yeah, I've got this tune, because I mean, Mark knows more about it than me. Manchester wasn't a very nice place to go out, if I'm honest. I used to go to what people in London would consider some of the roughest nights in London and think it was a fairy tale compared
Really?
to...
Yeah.
And what year are we talking now?
96, like I said, same.
94 through to 98. Right. Bowlers was one of the places you could go, and because there was happy hardcore and house music and stuff, and well, basically the gang who ran it was out of town. How the whole thing was, it ran and it had a different vibe. It had a vibe like the Helter Skelter Dreamscape.
Back then, if I was going to interject, Bowlers back then was mainly happy hardcore and rave, and then I had the little drum and bass room. That was it. The drum and bass room, how many do you say it held? About 200, 300?
300.
Yeah. Free top.
We had that monthly. We had that every month. So Wilf became a resident. I think, well, Phil became a resident.
Yeah.
And Tonn was like our resident MC. You know what I mean? It was great.
To give some context, some of the other nights, legendary or not, you had big gang influence.
Like what?
People would wear red or blue bandanas and have bombs, and there was it was lively.
Was bad back then. It wasn't like it is now.
Yeah, but at that point, that's where the majority of us, whether you're MCs or DJs, we ended up getting residencies outside of Manchester.
Yeah.
In order for our careers to blow up.
E.g., where sort of?
I had residency in Sheffield, so I was doing Tuesday Club. I was doing
what was that thing you used to do on the ski slope?
Yeah.
NY Sushi.
NY Sushi.
Ooh.
On a ski slope?
Yeah.
NY Sushi. Yeah, on a ski slope. Yeah.
Ski slope. I was doing nights in Leeds. I was going to Newcastle Turbulence. I was doing Symphonic in Liverpool on Seal Street. Any major city outside of Manchester and Edinburgh.
Any city outside of
anywhere but home.
It got to that stage that we didn't really play that much in Manchester. And so many people were saying, when are you going to come back and do a night in Manchester? You know what I mean? Wilf got it more than any, because he started a night called Squiggle. And Squiggle was really good. And then...
Correct you there. Attilia had Squiggle.
Yeah, Attilia had Squiggle.
For me, if we go in, I did a night called Deep Impact in 98.
Yeah.
which was the month after Stevie Hyper D died. And that was Nicky Black Market, Ray Keefe, Trigger, Inky, Marcus Sapo, and a few people. That was in the Isobar. And it was in the summertime, and someone else backed me with the money to do it. And at the time, it was quite a good turnout, but not many people paid. One of those occasions. And for me, then it was like, a lot of this doesn't make sense. And after that summer, some new students came into Manchester from London and other places, started nights like Squiggle and Mash, which is Attilia, Viagra Falls, which was Liam Kojo. Inky was already doing Spellbound.
He was doing Spellbound at that time.
Very similar, yeah.
Speaking of Inky, I'd say working with Inky was probably my biggest turning point.
Yeah.
In that sense, because Inky would always put me on with the biggest DJs from London that would come to Manchester at that time. So for my late teens, I always got that experience to work with the best DJs that were coming through Manchester.
Yeah.
And that's what kind of helped spread my name.
There was nobody that could do what you could do back then in Manchester.
So let me ask you this. So then, okay, so first of all, who were the biggest DJs that were coming from London at that time? Like, what are some examples of who they were?
Ryan G,
Ronnie Size,
Jumping Jack Frost.
I mean, to be honest, most people came through, but a lot of the events, there was problems that they came through to.
Meaning?
People got robbed, MC.
What, the artists? Yeah.
There's a plethora of stories from
over the years.
I like that word, plethora.
So there was a real reputation around Manchester, do you think, that was unique to anywhere else in the UK at that time?
No, I think Nottingham was similar. I think Birmingham was similar. But I think it was just a culture, with a jungle culture. I don't think it was something that was just in various cities. I think it was just the culture of jungle. But I think what happened was, no matter where you went, whoever was playing, I think even in London, it was, bad to an extent, but
in my memory of it, 94 to 98 was where a lot of the damage was done in Manchester. So as a promoter in 98, trying to say, can I do a drum and bass event? Everyone went, no fucking way. Can't do that music here. Don't want it. Don't want to know. Go. There was clubs like Home, Hacienda had stuff. There was the Lighthouse. All these nights, because I had done events before that in Stoke-on-Trent, a pub which is still open called the Americana, which was in Cobridge, which, we had decks in the corner on like a decorating table, and prostitutes and crack dealers frequented it, and then old people with pipes. This was back in the time you could smoke in pubs.
I wasn't there.
And we used to play
jungle records
in the corner to ourselves. It was really...
That sounds so funny.
Fucking weird. And so, and then I had done Deep Impact, but there was loads of other stuff. There was Guidance. There was Legendary Nights. But I found Manchester was way more moody, because someone would go, where are you from? And you go, are you from here? Are you from there? Or you knew someone. There was always something. You went to London and someone said, oh, where are you from? Or who are you? Like, yeah, I'm from Manchester. People just left you alone.
Okay, can I just say one thing to add to that? That's because back then there was no social media, and text messages were only just becoming a thing in the late 90s.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Things didn't spread by wildfire, but it was by hearsay.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? It wasn't like you could have a video on Instagram or Snapchat or Facebook.
No, it was just
story.
there
was none of that. So everything was strictly on the ground. So you only hear the rumor, you hear someone else's story, turned into a Chinese whisper. Some of it blew up bigger than it was. You know what I mean? But they were harsh times trying to be an artist within the scene and trying to break through. Because I love D&B and jungle from day one. But trying to blow up as an artist in your own city meant that you had to leave your own city.
There, Tonn. So, sorry to put in. There is a distinct difference. If you think Inky represented drum and bass when he came through, booking Shimon, Andy, Ed Rush, that sound, Dom and Roland, that sound, not the sound that was associated with jungle, with the ragga sound.
No, but
it made a different changed.
Yeah, same. I'm gonna pause both of you. I'm gonna pause both of you. Inky and Guidance. Inky with Spellbound, Marcus with Guidance.
Yeah.
They booked the different style of jungle drum and bass. They changed it from jungle to drum and bass.
Okay, hear me out though, yeah? But Inky didn't just have Spellbound. He had the nights at the Collider Bar, which catered for the jungle and everything.
Oh, yeah.
So what he did with the Collider Bar and Dum Dum and those things, he took the best elements of it and made Spellbound with the live band. So it was drum and bass. Also had a live band there.
What?
When the Jenna G came on.
Yeah. That is incredible.
Yeah.
That's amazing.
Yeah.
So do you think that the kind of clientele for that sort of thing was quite different to like the traditional jungle raves then?
100%. Because the live band thing scared people.
Yes.
In terms of, you know, we used to just hear him raw aiming breaks and stuff.
And an MC.
Do you think it's got anything, do you think like the drugs people were taking was different between those kind of events? Or do you think that has anything to do with it?
Now you mean?
No, like, so those kind of, those more new school raves at the time, like you're talking about with the live music and that kind of clientele compared to the traditional ravers, like just wanting to listen to dark breaks all night, like.
There is some distinct things, but I think you'd have to say it was nationally. Jungle had a period like 93 through to 98 until I'd say this other sound more occurred where people smoked crack. There was ecstasy, but also ecstasy in the UK became shit. It was all garbage. And you can look at trends of music around drugs and what people were taking. You know, I remember when dubstep first started, people were taking ketamine, and you're like, "What's going on here?"
Yeah, it's like tied to a.
Like, that record should be on 45, and it's like, "No, we're on Keza, and you're on this," and you're like,
"Yeah,
oh, okay." And I think good ecstasy started to fade out from 93, 94. You know, I'm not proud of my drug taking, but it's something that I understood. You know, and then you see like a change in it. There was a shift, cocaine. A lot more drinking. You used to go to raves. If we're going back, and Mark and Tom will testify, people didn't drink. You took an E, you had a bottle of water, and you parted. What's your name? Where you from? What you had? That was how it was. It then moved away from that, and you got like weed and coke and
that's maybe where the more violent kind of aspects came in. Yeah.
Mark was DJing in the 80s, Harriet.
That makes you an actual veteran.
Yeah, Mark's like Hacienda.
I won DMC in the Hacienda.
Like your grandparents old.
Wait, Mark,
I love it. I love it.
What's that, Mark?
89.
80, yeah,
89 is when you started mixing.
That's when I became like, well, that's when I started doing bigger clubs.
What was your DJ name then?
1 minute, let's put some perspective in. What do you think XTC means?
I have no idea.
Extra tough cutter.
Extra tough
scratches, right? I didn't know this. I know it's for this is weird. Why? Like, here's this guy. I love him. He's an amazing DJ. All this stuff. Like, it doesn't take E, but his name is Ecstasy. And then he told me, like,
Ecstasy. I didn't even.
Listen, the amount of years
just there looking at us both like, you little kids, you don't know anything, you little kids.
I tried. At one time I contemplated changing it. I thought, you know what, because that's who I am. I've been that since the 80s. Extra Tough Cutters.
Love that you've kept the same name.
Yeah, because I kept the same name because it was a DMC name. You know what I mean? And
yeah.
You know,
turntablism and all that gear, you know.
Still, I'm a scratch DJ, and I still teach scratching now. We was known for being underground. We was like, even the record shops were underground record shops. When you spoke to Mixmag and all them people, they came to us. They didn't go to HMV.
Well, hear me out.
That's it. Didn't go to our price.
In the 90s, though.
You went to our price.
In the 90s, you know, we had the old school rave and the underground. We also had the Manchester era.
Yeah.
So Manchester was split across the board with raves and different sounds with the indie bands all blowing up and stuff like that.
So imagine you got the Happy
Monday. Of course.
You got Stone Roses, and then on the other side you've got a guy called Gerald. You've got 808 State.
Yeah.
Yes.
You know what I mean? You had all them people playing, well, which is now classed as old school, rave and dance music, and then there was other people like, right, I want to go to what's that main club in town? What was it called? That big Royales. It was called
Royales, yeah.
Royales. Which was just like pop-tastic. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And then you had them people. So we was just like underground. We was classed as the dregs of the city.
And do you know what though? My little experience there going on tour with Sean Ryder helped me out in the drum and bass scene.
Yeah,
massively.
definitely.
Yeah,
definitely.
So like touring with Happy
In the industry, in the industry, full stop, Tonn.
Wait, can you actually explain to me what you're talking about?
Right. Do you know who Sean Ryder is?
Yes.
Right. Go on, Tonn.
I went on tour.
Wait, can we just explain who he is for people who don't know?
Yeah.
Sean Ryder was the singer of Happy Mondays and Black Grape, and he's also, sort of celebrity phenomenon, isn't it?
He was on Big. What was it called? What was that thing called? Channel 4.
Big Brother.
Big Brother.
Yeah. I'm a Celebrity was on.
Was it I'm a Celebrity, not Big Brother?
I think it was I'm a Celebrity.
Bez was on Big Brother.
Right.
Yeah. So basically, those guys there. I went on tour with Sean. He was doing the best of Sean Ryder, so best of Happy Mondays, best of Black Grape, and the best of SWR, which is Sean William Ryder, his own brand. So basically, his MC at the time wasn't well, so I had to step in for a couple of years. Just doing it. I used to come on stage, do like 5 tracks with those guys, and then I just disappear into the background. But that experience there kind of made me come back to the drum and bass scene with a different perspective of ravers, because those guys were like old school indie ravers, like indie crossover ravers, and that experience with those guys trying to win that kind of crowd over made me adapt my approach to the younger ravers when I got back to the scene.
You obviously have done a lot of stuff outside of drum and bass musically as well, haven't you?
Yeah. I had a bit of a rap metal band going for a few years. Just started it back up before this lockdown came in. So I can't wait to get back on stage with that. It's called
what's your band called?
Daywalkers.
And when you were quite active previously with them, right?
Yeah, well, I was quite active with them, like touring around the country a little bit, supported Skin Dread a few times. But also with those guys, I went on tour with another band called Tech One, which wasn't necessarily a band, it was a DJ and drummer.
I remember that.
He produced,
that was cool, yeah.
Oh, you are old, aren't you?
So,
Who,
yeah,
me? Me? Like, I really don't know how you think in the context of being with you guys. I could be old.
I'm still not having 27.
You know what I mean? Cocoa Bottle Glow, man. Sweet.
I have my own beauty secrets. Champagne every day.
I was just going to say, I think also touching on that, Havana.
Oh, wow.
So we had a club in Manchester called
Havana. Forgot we had
But
Havana.
You went down the stairs to
Yeah, but what was at the top of the stairs?
and then you went through a prison like football turnstile.
Yeah, there we go.
And the club was advertised as being bulletproof. Because people had stood in the bar, which was the Blob shop next to it. I don't know if you know what a blob is. It's hot wine and water, or some Australian thing.
Okay.
And on a few occasions, people had stood in that place and tried to shoot through the club.
No way.
Yeah. I have a great story there. I should or shouldn't say this. I remember once some friends of mine in there who are synonymous with one of Manchester's big poster families, who I love dearly and family with.
Yes.
Him and some friends were behind the bar fighting with some other people, throwing bottles at people. And obviously everyone couldn't get out because it had this prison turnstile.
Yeah, it's crazy times up here.
Oh, dear. Yeah.
But you know what, though?
Won't change it.
Oh, listen, that club changed everyone's perception of Manchester in the end, because DJs that would come there knew there was a turnstile there, and a certain demographic of person was not allowed or going to get into that club.
It was safe in there.
So
that's what we knew.
even though it was a turnstile and you had the bulletproof glass window for the till where you pay the ticket money, etc. It was
1 minute, kids. Someone's burning my house down.
Oh, I can hear it. I can hear a beeping.
I can. What's that? What's burning in your house?
Is that his dinner?
Most probably.
Well, I'm just going to grab myself another drink. One sec.
Yeah, yeah, that's a good shout.
What about my knee?
You thank you.
Yeah, well.
In, man.